Ladies and gentlemen, welcome at Ekdu, at Hidi. At this farm, there is a company which has the name Sola Grow, which means we grow sola. And sola, solanum, is the Latin, the scientific word for potato. So when you read the name of our company, it just says potato grower. And that's where we started, with a mission, with a purpose to say, okay, instead of importing food from abroad, let Ethiopia produce its own food. And when you are a farmer, you have a small plot of land, you want to have the crop which is the highest yield, isn't it? So you don't grow roses. You can grow some cabbage, which is a high yielder. You can grow some teff, which is moderate. At least you can make injera. But if you need the crop which is the highest yielder, it's potato. 3 times better than wheat. And Ethiopian government last year, they made the priority for potato now, because they said, yes, we understand that in a short time, 3 months, on 1 hectare of potato, you can get more than 500 quintals. It's amazingly, it's a lot. And my question to you, who from you does not like French fries? No? I think so. I like it very much. Because good French fries, nicely fried, is good food. It's feeding you, giving you the joy of eating French fries. And all children I know, they love it. Yes. Even the smallest boy, he said patat, which is the Dutch name for that. So, in Ethiopia, there is, I think at this time, more than 120 million people. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, how long should I continue? But it's a lot. And every person needs their food today and tomorrow. And that shows the importance of farming, because farming is food production. The Ethiopian population is growing, but also we can export to Djibouti, we can export to Somaliland, we can export to Sudan, whatever. But Ethiopia has a good land, it has good rain, it has good sunshine, it has the potential to produce a lot of food. And I can tell you, in this world, there is no economy, there is no country which has not good agriculture. I remember when I was a small boy, Korea was a very poor country. But it started to develop. How? By computers? By manufacturing? No. Korea started to develop by agriculture. And as soon as they changed from subsistence agriculture to producing agriculture for export, also they start manufacturing. So that's what you see. If there is no agriculture, there is no good country. So that's what we should do as Ethiopia. We should make our agriculture, our food production, the best in the world. And we can. You can. At this time, Ethiopian agriculture, on average, produces only 1/3 of what's possible. That's not too much. You see, teff is growing in this area around Bishoftu. The average of the farmers at this time is around 10 quintals per hectare. When you produce teff in Holland, you can get 30 quintals, 3 times more. But when we do the same at this farm, we get 25 quintals at our farm. And why? Because if you pay attention to the good soil preparation, for the good seed, for the good sowing, for good fertilizer, then you yield a lot. And for example, growing potato in Ethiopia gives around 15 quintals of potato per hectare. When we grow it at our field there, we get 45 quintals per hectare. 3 times more. Is this better soil? No. Better sunshine? No. Better potato variety? Yes. Better seed? Yes. Better fertilizer? No, the same. Better farmers? No. So, if you get good variety and good seed, and you apply the good fertilizer, the yield can be very, very high. Last 3 months, we bring some samples of potato seeds, some tubers like this, to Debrecen for urban gardening. So we ask a lot of families plant only 15 carimeter of potato. They did. We gave them 60 tubers of this. And the good ones, after 3 months, they harvest 50 Amsa kilogram of potato. This is worth more than 1,600 €. And they said, oh, can we do that at our compound? I said, yes, you can. Because if you get the good seed and you apply nice fertilizer, the sun will do and yield will be for sure. So that's what we want to do in Ethiopia, and that's what we did for the last 15 years, the last 16 years. Try to find how the resources which are available in Ethiopia you can apply in the best way. So it will not be difficult for Ethiopia to double the food production. We can, easily. But then it means that you and you and you and you and you, all of you, should just think, read, and see what can be done. And then you have to tell your neighbor, your father, and your family, and say, okay, this you can change. And if you change this, the yield will be much higher. I've seen many farms at TD of this village. And I tell the old farmers, I said, if you apply more liquid compost, you get more teff. He said, so what? We have enough. We can eat. I said, yes, but if you get more, you can sell to the market. But then his wife said, no, then he will drink more tella. But if Ethiopia can produce more food, it will be good for all of you. The people can send the children to school. They can buy small implements or bajaj or whatever to make money on that. And that's the way how our country can do. And that's what we try to do on this compound. We want to see how we can use things which are available, not importing, but just do it ourselves. I am convinced Ethiopia can do it by itself. I think Ethiopia does not need development aid from America. I think we can do it by ourselves. And I think you are clever enough and you are strong enough to work together and to make what we need. And at our company, we are working on just small things to see how we can improve. First thing, because we are a potato company, we want to produce this nice potato. When you taste French fries from this one, you say, Leila, camera. Yeah. Because the taste of good variety potato is very nice. And you know this one, but also we have the red skin variety. It's the same. Sometimes they say, oh, this super potato. It's not, because if you cut it, it's simply the same as you can see. Normal potato, very nice taste, but the skin is red. Doesn't matter. There's one more. You see this potato? It's almost black, isn't it? Picor. If I cut this one, it's different. But you see the purple color? This is very healthy. This is what they call the antioxidants. And when you eat this, your health will be improved, for sure. But if you get French fries with this one, you'll say, oh, it's strong, it's nice. But that's what we want to do, to bring new varieties for Africa which are suitable. And there are many, many different varieties. And when we bring it to the farmers and we give to them the seed, they can do it. Do you know the potato seed? What is potato seed? Do you know? Simply this potato seed, a small tuber. And when you put a small tuber and you put it in the store for 3-4 months, then you get, then step by step there will be sprout on it. And when you put this seed in the soil, then the sprout becomes a plant, it starts growing like this. And that's what we want to find. Varieties which are very well adapted to the hot Ethiopian sunshine and to the soil of Ethiopia and give the highest yield. Even we got one variety which harvested 800 quintal per hectare. And you are happy not to eat all of that, but it's a lot. So that's the first thing we want to do. Secondly, the biggest problem of Ethiopian potato production is that many times the seed is not healthy. And if you start with seed which is not good, What do you expect from harvest? The last one over the bush. In Ethiopia we get only 15 tons per hectare. But if you use green seed, the yield will be 3 times higher. The same fertilizer, the same work, the same water, the same sunshine, whatever, but the yield will be much, much higher. But that's exactly the problem in Ethiopia. If you start to produce seed, many times on the field there is disease. It takes 3-4 years on the field to do that. And that makes always the production of seed very expensive, and the farmers, they don't like to buy expensive seed. But now, about 5 years ago, there was a new technology. What we found out is if you take a potato plant, like this one, you can see the small tubes are starting here, but if you take this plant, you simply can cut the top of it. And then you have only this. When you put this one in a tray like this, then after 1 week, the root started and a new plant is coming. So after 2 weeks, I have 2 plants, this one and that one. Then I cut again. Then I make 4. And I cut again after 2 weeks. Makes 8. I cut again. Makes 60. Again. 32, 64, 128. If I start with 10 plants in Meskerum, next Meskerum, how many I get? 500,000. 500,000. I start with this today. If you come back next year, then you are grade 13. Then they are grade 13, isn't it? Yeah. If you come back after 1 year, I get all of this full of potatoes. And they're all healthy because they are not on the field, they are not contaminated by insects, they are not contaminated by bacteria. You can do like that. And from 500,000 plants, we can plant 100 hectares of potatoes at the same price as potato seeds. So now in Holland, they are surprised. They said, how can you do this? Because in Holland it's too expensive. To have some person like cutting like this, it makes a lot of money for doing that. But Ethiopia's salary is not that much high. So at Ethiopia, simply this one will cost only, I think, 250 birr. 250 plants. And that's very, very nice, because from this we produce the small tubers like this one in the greenhouse. We give this to the farmer. The farmer, he put it in the store and he gets the tubers with all the sprouts on it. He plants the sprouts in the field and he is harvesting and he gets 45 tons per hectare. So that's what we are doing. This new technology, which is not available in America, is not available in Holland, it's available in Africa, in Ethiopia. And we now apply it also in Bangladesh, we apply it in Uganda, and in all the countries which have low cost of labor and have high temperature because of nice sunshine, this is perfect. Instead of importing, we do it by ourselves. Sometimes I get some farmers that said, can we do as well? How can we get the potting soil? Because inside this there is potting soil. I said, oh, Jekerta, I bring from India, I import. They said, how much is the price? I said, oh, 1 container is about 600,000 birr. He said, too expensive, they can't do that. Do you think a farmer can buy for 1 million potting soil? He can't, can he? But you see, what we did, normally we are using the potting soil like this. You see, it's expensive. But there's also potting soil from Ethiopia. That's this. You know this? Garaganti? You know? Redash? Kayashwa? Yeah? You know, the price of this is very cheap. You see the mountain over there? It's all of this. You see the mountain over there? It's all of this. So, to bring 1 container of cocoa peat from India, 900,000 birr. To bring 1 container of red ice from Bishoftu, 9,000 birr. And the production on this red ice is the same as on the cocoa peat. And now many farmers said, oh, we have Karaganti, we can use it. And there is one more problem. So, we solved the problem of seed. We can do it ourselves. We solve the problem of cocoa peat. You have Garganta, you can do it ourselves. But then we have to import fertilizer. Fertilizer is very expensive. But no need of doing that. I will take you outside after this meeting. I will show you how liquid compost smells. And you'll not be happy to smell it. But it's perfect. Because this plant, it needs nitrogen, it needs phosphorus, it needs calcium. Oh, I have them still here, I think. Calcium, potassium, magnesium, zinc, all those they need. And our farmers are using 2 types of fertilizer only. Who knows which 2 types? Who is from farmer area? What are the farmers using in Ethiopia? Madabaya. Urea and DAP. Yes, and what is it? Urea is nitrogen, DAP is nitrogen and phosphorus. That's what they ate. But what about calcium, potassium, magnesium, zinc? Where they get? You get that? Yeah, today. And next year? From the soil. And next year? Depleted. It's finished. So after 10 years you have to bring back again, isn't it? How can you bring back? All the farmers said, I bring DAP, I bring urea. Then the solution is, you have to bring back compost. Because compost contains everything. So what we are doing, we make the compost at our farm here, and then we spray the plants by compost. And what do you think? Is it good for the growth? Of course, very nice. We did a trial last year on the field here. The farmer, he did TEF by himself, DAP, urea, very nice. And I was the neighbor. Beside the farm, I did the same TEF. The same rain, the same sun, the same soil. I did also DAP, urea, and I applied compost. You know, my harvest? 2 times more. The cost? 500 birr. 10 quintal of TEF, how much birr? Met hoe high is she? That was my profit. Very nice. So, we have the plants, we have the compost, we have the fertilizer by itself, but then we get the next problem. And I just skipped number 4, I skipped 5, I told you about 6, but now I tell you about 7.